Hey, everybody, welcome back to Paramystic Christina. I'm your host, Christina Bloom. I am a psychic medium and I do a lot of other stuff too. I'm an author, obviously, a radio show host, podcaster, vodcaster, and I am here today with Zach Skrede, who does the CE5 protocols to talk to ETs to bring them in, and he has quite a story. So let's get right to that. Hi, Zach.
Hey, Christina, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Oh, doing wonderful.
Awesome.
Um,
Awesome. So how did you get involved in doing this? Like what was the process of you contacting ETs, being contacted by ETs? How did all that happen?
um, so yeah, kind of growing up in early years, I always kind of just knew, it
Mhm.
has to be someone out there, and didn't really have any like huge encounters or anything like that. I grew up in Belleville, Wisconsin, which is
Okay.
one of Wisconsin's UFO capitals.
Yeah.
So it was kind of, it was a lighthearted topic that everyone talked about, and it was, it was like an open subject. It wasn't like
Right.
taboo or
Belleville
anything.
Belleville has the festival every year, right? The UFO
Correct. Yep.
festival. Okay. All
Yep.
right.
It's coming up on the 26th here. So big
Okay.
parade, and I'll have a booth there, and
Cool.
it's a great little day of events.
Sounds like fun.
Oh yeah. um, So yeah, anyways, right after graduation, I joined the Air Force and got to travel the world with them, and ended up, you know, seeing some of the stuff that we do kind of on the periphery of my, normal job duties, and got to go to a few sites, and so kind of knew what some of the things that we had going on. I never needed to question that either. So never really paid attention to like the well, heck, not even like coast to coast with Art Bell, him
Mhm.
and like Bob Lazar's stories. I really never paid much mind to them because again, I just kind of knew
Right.
was busy enjoying other aspects of life.
Right.
Um, so fast forward a number of years after that, uh, sitting around one day trying to just clicking through the Amazon trying to figure out what to watch, and this unacknowledged popped across, and it's a documentary put on by Dr. Stephen Greer, and
Mhm.
yeah, let's give this a try. It was free at the time. Um, the first sections of it were all about like government cover-ups and secret programs that we have going on, and we're seeing some new stuff, and it's all kind of ringing true with me. And then kind of at the end of it, he kind of laid out and like, oh, by the way, you can actually go out and, go around this system and make contact yourself. And, here's like the sightings that we are able to produce and everything. And here's the process on how to do it. First
Okay.
off, all this stuff was out in the open now. So, oh, wow,
Yeah.
cool. We can finally talk about this openly, and everything. And, I want to do it. I want to, make contact. Um,
Right. And have you?
yes. Yeah. Fortunately, quite a bit of it.
Awesome.
um, Kind of fair disclaimer in all of this, I am like a bit of an outlier when it comes to like people's abilities and their inclination towards this. Um, it's part of the reason why I'm back here on Earth. Uh, so going from someone who just I was living out west in Utah for a while, up in the mountains, loved guns and shooting and snowmobiles and beer and all that good stuff, and really no like spiritual side. Was
Okay.
raised Catholic, but not active at all.
Right.
So I mean, kind of just want to show that really anyone can do this. It doesn't matter what your beliefs or your backgrounds or or your experience or skills. It's available to everyone. Granted, it's tougher for some people to get to, but
Mhm.
you know that's where the groups, come into play.
Right. And you have developed a group, yes?
Yeah, correct. I'm kind of somewhat in the center of the state between
Okay.
Adams and the Dells. Oh, it's a nice dark area still where we can see a lot.
Yeah, not a lot of noise, or I'm sorry, not a lot of light pollution in that area. So that's
No,
nice.
no. Yeah, you can actually still get like a good streak of the Milky Way out here.
Yeah, it's a beautiful area. I used to live in that area, and it really is just a beautiful area. Once you get past the sand and the sandburs, it's pretty nice.
Right.
Sandburs, something not everyone's familiar with, but yeah, they're
Right.
they're horrible little plants that just eat. Yeah. Anyway.
Get some good calluses on your feet.
Yeah,
Yep.
right. So tell us about some of the direct contact that you've had.
Um, okay, so I guess kind of from the early times in my journey, didn't know how to meditate, so part of the process is, it's a meditative process. Um, just clearing your mind and concentrating, for anyone that doesn't want to get into the, you know, spiritual stuff.
Right.
So I found an app that had like a 7-day how to, and I went through some guided things, and from that it took off pretty quickly for me. And by the end, it was get into a meditation. I kind of just called out like, hey, I would like to make contact with a being on another planet than ours. That's you're looking for peaceful contact.
Hmm.
And so the first kind of hints that I got while in meditation were really, really subtle, and it was a really, really light pull. So I kind of had to follow it and let the intuition guide and let it, take hold of the wheel. And and here pops in this kind of green, leafy looking, bipedal human-like, but his body was almost like leaf-like, kind of shaped the same way, like kind of
Interesting. Okay.
diamond spear type shape. And this is, things that I'm visualizing and experiencing, internally and through, our higher being.
Hmm.
Um, and not everyone's able to just visualize this clear picture like that. It comes through all the senses,
Right.
um, be keen to all of them to get the full experience.
Wow, that's pretty intense. I've not actually seen one like that. That's interesting. I do love the
Yeah.
CE5 meditations, though. I
Oh
really
yeah,
do
for
enjoy
sure.
those. Yeah.
Yeah. You can let them take you off to these other worlds, see what else is out there.
Right.
Because yeah, and his name it was Trey, and then it was kind of like a John Barlopoulos, like a Greekish sounding name. So he's like, you
Okay.
could just call me Trey. I was like, oh, cool, thanks. Kind of going through and saw what their housing was like, and they're be like really in with nature. They didn't eat any, like animals or anything. Their main food was kind of like a water chestnut.
Okay.
Um, got to like experience that with them and everything, and see their wildlife and other flora and fauna. Yeah, really cool experience.
That is a cool experience. Do you have any idea
So,
what the name of their home planet is, or?
um, nothing that we really got that we would
Okay.
pronunciate or call it,
Right. That
but
is one of the issues is that they don't typically speak English, although they learn pretty quickly.
yeah, yeah, like thoughts and concepts and ideas can process back and forth, pretty easily. But once you get into the names and like locations, it can get choppy. But a lot
Right.
will just kind of truncate and, nicknames even. Um,
Okay.
another one, he didn't really have much of a name, like per se, but he kind of tagged him with a call sign. It was mallard gravy.
Okay.
It's like, okay, we'll go with it.
Interesting. And this came about through the CE5, or did this happen like before the CE5?
No, this is all after once,
Okay.
you know, because there's a website, ce5protocol.com, and it's really just straightforward, bare bones. Here it is. You know, it's got some nice background animation, but here's step by step how to do it. And basically just get cozy and clear your mind and send the intention out there and, wait for the response.
Right. Sometimes you get one, sometimes you don't.
Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, like the next day, you'll realize like, oh shoot, like something happened, while you're out trying to do it and you're waiting, like, oh, that was actually, them calling out. I missed the call.
Yeah. I have had that happen too, and it's like, oh man, I missed it again. I'm one of those kids that it was always like, I'm waiting for the mothership to come and take me back to where I belong.
Right.
Even as a
Well,
little kid, I remember saying that. So,
yeah, oh, really.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, now's the time to do it. Make the call back.
Yeah, like, hey guys, I'm right here. I'm right here. Really, I'm right here. I'm not
Right.
even hiding. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, joke's over. Like, Earth, I get it. Real funny. Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, I totally understand that. And so remind us again, what does CE5 stand for? Do you?
So, Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind.
Okay.
So, everyone's remembers the Richard Dreyfuss movie,
Right.
Encounters of the Third Kind, out at Devil's Tower.
Mm-hmm.
That was something I got to go to when I was a child. We were traveling through the West, and my grandparents would stop there, and they play the movie every night, campground, and
Oh, wow.
kind of.
Yeah. I know I've stopped there a few times and gone hiking, but I never camped there. So,
Oh, right.
yeah.
And I'd like to go back now, knowing what I know now.
Right. Me too.
So,
Absolutely.
right.
Wow. What, what is some of the methodology that you have used with the CE5 or without it to make contact or to create a safe space for visitors, or however you do that? I know you've got a little bit of land out there that you can open up for them to come and visit if they want to.
Yeah, we do. And you can give a little overhead shot and get a nice like compass rose out here
Oh, I like
that
your
that
wheel.
we use for location and calling out, and bit of an energy vortex in the middle of it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we have, as far as our sacred space to do the practice at, and
Okay.
do a like clearing practice, burn some sage, setting intention and getting everyone on the same page when we're in the group.
That is really important. And I don't know if people realize how important it is that everybody in your group should pretty much be on the same page, because otherwise you have split energies going in different directions and you don't necessarily have a concentrated focus. Especially
No,
if you have
absolutely.
people, especially if you have like first timers who are afraid. It's like, don't bring your fear in here, because that just
Right.
tells them to stay away.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah. Because, the other side, they'll kind of cater to the, lowest common denominator, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
They'll stay at that level for the whole group.
Right.
Which,
That's
not a bad or, good, bad, or the other type of thing, but it's just what's going to work best.
exactly. Now, do you include any kind of music with it, like drumming or anything like that? Or is that something you do like separately from the CE5 as far as like
So
ceremony?
yeah, ceremony wise, I'd like to get some drumming going on. I have mine, but get some other people out that, or to have a session like that. Cause, music is magic.
Mhm.
We're all about, the vibration and I've made, very direct, correlations, I suppose, with activity in the sky and, music that's playing at the time.
Right.
So as far as like, meditation wise, there's the guided kind of spoken.
There's a CE5 app that you can get for Apple or Android, and it's Dr. Greer kind of reading through it, and it's like 20 or so minutes.
Okay.
No background noise or music or anything else.
Okay. I know that a
So,
lot of people, when they go to meditate, having some kind of music is helpful.
yeah, absolutely. So I I tried out, when I was starting meditating, tried out some of the Monroe Institute
Hmm.
hemisync music
Yes.
and their meta music, and holy mackerel, it just took right off on it.
Yeah, it does. That
I mean, I can't speak highly enough of that place. I've been lucky enough to go there in person for a week on their gateway voyage, and I mean, just phenomenally powerful experience. But I'll play that hemisync music. You
okay.
both, when I'm doing a meditation myself, get some good headphones on and really like get in deep. Or, when we're out in a group, I'll just kind of play it over a speaker.
Does that include
Still kind of
binaural
gets the
beats?
attention across.
Yeah. Does that
Yes,
it
yeah,
has the binaural beats in it where it's back and forth and kind of balances the brain?
yeah. So kind of the
Yeah.
lower frequencies and Bob Monroe was a sound technologist, whatever, back in the 50s during radio programs, and they were messing with all this stuff and found that, if the difference between the two tones left and right matches that kind of theta wave, what is it, like 3 to 7 hertz, or wherever
Okay.
it is, that hums you in right there. So
I
there's
love that.
science behind it and
Hmm.
tons of studies.
Awesome.
There's more
Awesome.
studies on this stuff than there is on the effectiveness of aspirin against headaches.
I'm not surprised. I think that's a good thing, actually, in my
Oh, yeah.
opinion. I think that's a good thing. You had mentioned before that you were in the Air Force. Did you have any contact experiences while you were in the Air Force that you're
Um,
allowed to talk about?
Not really so much with, like other beings, things like that,
Okay.
seeing other craft. I got to go out to with Dugway Proving Grounds, kind of the West Utah desert, and aircraft, divert out there, so we get to go out there from time to time.
That sounds beautiful. Utah's a gorgeous state. It's
Oh yeah, it was hard to leave.
yeah, I'm sure. And yet you ended back right where you started, kind of like I did. Right back where I started. Yeah.
Plan all along, I suppose.
Yeah. It is interesting to me how and I'm kind of changing the subject here, but I've been noticing this year like everywhere else is having fires, floods, tornadoes, hurricanes, and we're not.
We're in a kind of little golden triangle type thing,
Yeah,
and that was kind of very clearly laid out to me. Once the move was completed back and everything, like there's a reason why you're back here.
right. Yeah. It was made clear to me too, but I was still mad about it.
Right.
It took me some time to settle in. But uh, let's see. I know I wrote down some notes here because I just needed to do that. So this is something that you do independently. You're not involved in any type of an organization or anything like that.
Nope. There's no membership fees. I my tagline I like to put out there is, there's no cash, no cloaks, and no Kool-Aid. We're not a cult.
Awesome. Awesome. How do people get a hold of you to, maybe connect with you, pick your brain, show up to an event? How do people get a hold of you?
I've got the group on Facebook. Uh,
Okay.
you can search Wisconsin CE5 and it pops right
Okay.
up.
Okay. I'm actually going to make a note of that because eventually I'm going to show up there. So,
Awesome. Be glad to have you.
Wisconsin CE5. That's great. It's nice to know that there is something in this area because I know I've talked to people who are even relatively close to you who have no idea that there's anything in the area going on.
Right.
So,
Right. And
yeah.
so a lot of it's kind of been a marketing push from my end.
Okay.
I got some. Actually, I don't have any of my cards back here with me. I've shown one of them on screen, but that has my other email and phone number as well for people to reach out.
Okay.
But
And they can probably get that information by messaging you, I would imagine,
yep,
on Facebook.
yep.
Yeah.
Facebook Messenger. I'm on there, usually responsive.
Okay, cool. And you have some drawings that you were showing me earlier.
Oh yeah. So one of the one of my like biggest contacts, I suppose, or one I've had some of the most experience with, and who's helped me, I guess, more than the rest. Thomas.
Okay.
He's a 7 foot tall, like mantid, like praying mantis like being.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say some of the people who hear this won't have visuals, so describing him is good, right?
Right.
7 feet tall, kind of a praying mantis type being.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And there's quite a few like insectoid like beings out there, large circles and families of them, and they're back here concerned with, you know, Mother Earth, Gaia, our planet. Because we're kind of at a crossroad or a
Hmm.
fork in the road, rather,
Right.
on where we're going to take this, whether or not we can clean up our act or get reset again.
Yeah.
But
Those resets are so much fun.
right, really
Yeah.
think we got it this time.
I
But
certainly hope so. Um, I was just going to ask you had another drawing there too, and what was that about?
oh yeah, for sure. And again, then the last thing I was gonna say with
Yeah.
Thomas was
Yeah.
the property that I ended up buying and moving back into.
Hmm.
It had been they'd been used as like an illegal asbestos waste dump.
Oh my goodness.
So tons of trauma in the land and everything, and this massive effort to get it cleaned up and everything done right and all that. And so, he came out to me, as sort of gratitude for all of that and like the efforts that we did out here.
Awesome. Awesome.
Put
I'm
that
glad.
energy.
Thank you for doing that. I mean, every little bit helps everywhere, right? I mean,
Right. You know,
yeah.
and,
It's funny because you drew that picture, I'm assuming. And just by looking at the picture and looking into the eyes, I can see that there's like a sentience there that is kind. Like
yeah,
it's caring, it's concern. It's not what most people would think insectoids would be.
right. Probably should. Oh yeah, I probably should have put this like as the number one point that all of this is done with just nothing but your heart energy, just open, unconditional love, and that oneness and connectedness with everything.
Awesome.
That's really like the golden key to having good experiences is having nothing
Yeah.
but that heart energy, going forward.
Right. It really is. I completely agree with you. Yeah,
And
completely.
it also, helps keep kind of the nasty ones off your tail. And just
Right.
the only way to go.
Right. Because what, it's like, I really believe that when we do this work and that when we are in contact with the beings, the higher beings, the off planet beings, whatever you want to call them, and we're working with them for a better world here, I feel like there's a protection that comes along with that, a personal protection that comes along with that, where we are taken care of. We are protected from bad things happening to us and all that. So it really, it's just something I've noticed in people who do that work.
No, I think you're absolutely right on that. And I've
Yeah.
been fortunate enough to enjoy some of that protection.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
So for that
Yeah.
we're eternally grateful for all the help that
Mhm.
we get in that realm.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's amazing how well we are taken care of.
Yep.
Right. So what is that next picture that you have there?
So this other one,
Oh yeah,
so
that
this is
makes a lot more sense. Okay.
there we go. I was up right. So this came through. It was at a 3-day event, just north of Minocqua, after Labor Day, and the last night of it, the group was all together, and it kind of started with like a breathwork exercise, and then it rolled into just um, music going along with it, and following the beat and the cadence with the breath, and um, my intention was to make contact with a new being from planet, you know, galaxy that we have no clue about, an opposite side of
Okay.
the universe pretty much. So fairly quickly, once we were doing this breathwork thing, I was able to kind of get the connection linked up, and kind of like a chat roulette thing where someone's going to just show up, but someone that's in line with your frequency.
Mhm.
Well, there was this this kind of big fella, and he was out in like a real rocky like terrain area. And I was like, oh hey, cool, like what's your name? Does your planet have a name? What do you do here? What do you eat? What's life like? And it just kind of went all like Eeyore on me, and kind of got sad, like, well, why are you out here worrying about me and all this like rocks when you got this party going on like that? Like, I want to be in their party.
Okay.
Go back to that. I was like, okay, point
I
made.
Point made. Yeah, exactly. And I was
So,
trying to
okay.
figure out how to describe that being. Kind of bear, kind of turtle, kind of like how would you describe him or her or them, whatever it is?
Yeah, like real armored up, kind of
Okay.
like rhinoceros like, but wider and lower like a turtle, like you
Okay.
said. Um, Kind of a strange like 3-pointed like mandible thing on the
Okay.
front.
Okay.
Which I guess I can hold it
Yeah.
up for people that
Yeah.
can't see it. But
For the people
yeah,
who can see
they
it.
just kind of
Yeah.
like open up, do something like that.
Interesting. That is really interesting to me because I've never contacted anything that looks like that. So that is,
No,
did they answer any of your questions?
no, not really. Kind
Fair
of
enough.
sounds like his main food was some sort of like insect, like grub, like
Okay.
not much foliage and stuff for them to graze on there and stuff. But yeah, like I said, he didn't really want to get into it. Just kind of turned into Eeyore on me.
I want to go to the party. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. I got one more curveball to throw you. All right. Are you ready? uh,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
have you noticed a correlation between ET activity and Bigfoot activity?
Yes. They tend to go hand in hand, more or
Okay.
less. As far as dimensionalities and traveling in between, in and out of our density and theirs. So Bigfoot being more kind of natural, native
Right.
to, our forest lands and our natural area, where ETs being more, interstellar, intergalactic, traveling with craft and,
Okay.
technology
Right.
stuff.
I know with the contact that I've had with the Bigfoot communities, and they're not all like they're not all one community, you know, they're in different places. They have different families or clans or whatever, as far as I can tell. And I know with talking with them, which is telepathic talking with them, hopefully someday I'll be able to sit down and, you know, have tea with a few of them and have a talk.
Right.
That would be awesome. But
Yeah.
it's been interesting to me how they do travel like between dimensions. You know, like you'll see one walking and gone, just flash a light and gone because they moved into a different dimension. And I think we're starting to, at least some of us on this planet, are starting to get a sense of what that's like because we are constantly now, anybody with any kind of higher frequency is starting to shift between dimensions. I think the difference is they do it with intention and we don't know what we're doing yet. So I think that's the difference. And hopefully they will
Yeah.
be teaching us
Okay.
how to do it so that we can do it well and stop being so confused about it, you know?
Right. It
Yeah.
gives some context to what we're experiencing for sure.
Right, exactly. And I don't know about you, but man, this back and forth shifting thing is it's a little disconcerting sometimes, you know? You
Yeah.
set something down,
Yeah.
you turn around, it's gone because you were in one frequency when you set it down and you're in a different frequency when you turn around and then 5 minutes later it's right back where you left it, whatever it is, cell phone, car keys, whatever it is. So it's that's something that a lot of people have been telling me that they've been experiencing with this. And I feel like the more contact that we can have with the ETs, with the Bigfoot communities, with those who are ahead of the game and can guide us, the better we're going to be getting through this as we're shifting.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Oh, my internet is unstable.
The leading edge of it all.
Yeah. Yeah. I am all of a sudden having internet issues. So I think what I'm going to
Okay, yeah, you're
do,
a little scrambled. Yeah.
yeah. So we can find you Wisconsin CE5 on Facebook. Okay.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry about that.
Yep. I've got an email also.
Okay. I think what we're going to do is we're just going to cut this a little bit short because of the internet issue, but I want to thank you so much for being willing to come on and talk about your experience and, you know, make yourself available to people in your area who want to explore more or understand more of what they're seeing. So thank you very much for coming on and sharing your wisdom and your knowledge and your hopes for humanity, as it were. So, all right. Take care.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and thank you, Christina, so much
You're,
for
you're
the
welcome.
platform and helping me get the word out.
Absolutely. Anytime. Anytime. We can certainly do this again because it's been a fun talk. So
Good
thank you.
stuff.
All right, everybody, you have been listening to Paramystic Christina on Zone 5
Yeah,
Radio.
absolutely. Look forward to it.